Hi, can you hear me? Hello, good evening. Singh can you hear me? Hi, Dheeraj. Hi, Dinesh. JP, Karuna, Nirali, Ranjani, Ravindra, Suraj Thomas. Yeah, can you see me?
Yes, you are visible. Everything is fine. So, everyone, welcome you here into this special session with Mr. Yvonne Anthony John. And this session is specially invited and on the occasion of the Labor Day. And today is the May 1st, 2024. And this is a Labor Day,
Sure.
and many organization they you may have been enjoying the holiday, but there are the something which you have to take care in your organization. So that's why we have been schedule this special session with Mr. John, and John is the CEO of one of the global consulting firm, and that is known as the HAST Global Compliance Services Private Limited. And John so far has been support near about 1,000 number of the customer and into India and Middle East for into the compliances, talent acquisition, and the other support service for the HR professional. And this discussion, especially, we have been invited John here for the labor law unbiased practices, how we can ensure into the organization. This is the theme of this today's session, and this session is for the people manager community, and especially who are the member for the people manager network. So far here I personally welcoming all those member who has been joined into this live session. So let me introduce everyone one by one. Dheeraj Chaube here has been joined, Dinesh, DSZ, and then here Edwin will also there, JP, KS, Jay, Suresh, Karuna, Nirali,
Yes.
Rajni S,
Singh ji,
and Ravindra.
uh, J-
Yes, please.
yes, Jay Suresh ji is also my partner and the managing director of Hertz Global. So he will
Okay.
also be answering some of the questions as well as such. Like he's a
Yeah,
labor law advocate
definitely. Yeah,
of Madras
definitely.
High Court.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, yes. So I will invite Mr. Suresh also. In between, there may be some question because all those questions for this discussion we have been collected through our community. So that's why it is one of the key the event for the HR professional, and especially to how the labor law compliances where the organization they have not properly complied with the regulation. So we called it as the unbiased practices, which is as in the regulations are there are the many law which has been said like the factory industrial dispute there it has been defined that organization have the unfair practices, what are their consequences to the organization, that we are going to address into today's session. And this session is going to be up till 10 p.m. today, and this 1 hour of conversation with the Ivan John, and secondly Mr. Suresh, who is the managing director of the Heads Global, and
Hertz Global.
Hertz Global, and
Hertz
so
Global. Yeah.
yes, Hertz Global. So thank you so much, Ivan John, giving the time for us. So when I come here with the member, because we are live here into the LinkedIn also as well as the YouTube. So there on LinkedIn around 80 number of the participant has been joined. In Zoom live there are 15 member as of now has been joined. YouTube around 20 number of the participant has joined there. So in between they can join because we have only 1 hour, so we have to be quickly go with. So let's when we move further with this. So here as the practices, we welcome the all the speaker today, and then secondly it is our courtesy to share with you who we are, how we are going to help the HR professionals through our concept and the platform which we have been designed. So it is part of the objective which we have been initiated in 2022, and now the People Manager magazine is 1.5 year old. The platform which is specially published and associated by the HR professionals, as well as there are some senior the veteran professional from human resources with collably as in the helping hand for the HR professional we have been started. When it has come to the managing of the unbiased labor law compliances practices, so as I the concept been shared, when it is come to as part of the people manager, we are come with the objective of for this 2024 and beyond, that is the art of possible, how we can help the HR professional with this platform, and collaboratively we can create a global community from India. So that is the objective of this platform. So that's why in 2024 we have the theme created as the art of possible, design for the unconventional. This is really the unconventional time. Multiple things are happening and will happen. There are the multiple changes happen. So the HR people need to be prepared for that. That's why the theme we are here designed, and especially it is our focus and objective and goal to make it possible for the HR professional globally from this by this people manager platform. So when next, as I have been already shared with you whom we are inviting, so that is Mr. Ivan John, and he is one of the CEO of Global CEO, one of the organization which I have been said. He is also the influential HR thought leader. He has been participating with the has been speaking on the different platforms. When it is come to, we have already invited Avon for the one of our conference we have been done, which is the part of that community creation in the March, 31st March, where we have been held one conference. So when it is come to the labor law compliances, so little bit overview I am going to share it. Then we are going to directly discuss on the discussion with Mr. Ivan John. So when it is come to the labor law, it is not just in the documentation part where the maximum organization is considered. So that is the reason why here we come with the manage the unbiased labor practices of compliances into the organization. So that's why we have the experts here who can drive your queries, that how you can assure compliances into your organization effectively and safeguarding your organization. When it is not compliances, one part as in the human resources, you can skip it for the till then you are into organization. There are the two chances. One, first it would be impact the business of the organization. Secondly, it would also impact your jobs. I have personally experienced in many organizations where the compliance and the inspection has been done, where there are the multiple of the non-conformity has been raised by the authorities. Then after the HR professional who was taking care, they has been kicked out. So that's why here we consider it as part of the unbiased practices. It is helping you as in the HR, and then next step you can help your organization, which is provide you the sustainable career into the HR. So when it is come to where the compliances are looking, you are well aware because all of we are from the HR community and everyone know about where required. Every establishment where the basic need required, any establishment, any where the businesses has been located, so law are applicable. It is either the service based or it is either the product based business. Then when you have the business, it is you are also engaging the workforce. So when the business is there and you are engaging the workforce, the labor law are applied to you. It is the prime responsibility of every establishment when either it is one employee or you are initiating one the business where it is the primary that required establishments, there you have to comply with the regulations. When it is come into the 40 side of the compliances, so there we go to the 4 different stages. So that is you require your approval when you are going to establish and you are hiring, you are engaging an establishment for the business purpose. So there you require certain approval and the certain the regulations. Then next you have to go to what you have been submitted while the approval you have been obtained. There you require to facilitate all those the requirement which has been directed in your approvals. Either it is the establishment approval like in the factory we consider it, and the other establishments also, either your premises or establishment is registered under the shop and commercial establishment. Then after you have to maintain the records according to these regulations which are applicable to your organization. That records must be. However, as of now, 90% of the organization, the records are only the formality preparing, because still there are some unfair practices where there are some lacking loopholes into the compliances. So that is where we do not consider the labor law compliances as a serious jobs. It is as part considered as in the documentation. But labor law compliances, it is not just the documentation, it is helping when you are complying the effectively. So it is helping you into your effective hiring processes, then retaining your people at throughout their life cycle within your organization. It is started from hiring to retiring. There you require to comply with the regulations. So this is the theme. So when it is come to the next part, so that is about when we consider it is the overview side of the labor law compliance. Then next if we go to what we have in this conversation today with Mr. Yvonne and his partner. So that is especially we are focusing on the certain areas. We have been defined all these into the 10 broader area where we are properly, however everyone about the labor laws, so they are understanding into the top of side and unbiasing side. Then the important compliances which most probably require to ensure by the every organization. Then most important part, that is about the challenges, because Yvonne John is facilitating the services to the thousand of the organization. So in that, what is the role or what are the issues organization are facing, and second, it is about the challenges what you cannot address by yourself, because when as an the expert working for the thousand number of organization, the organization they have the different types of the challenges. So expert insights who has been deeply gone went deep through these problems and handle advise the corporate, advise the business owner, so that insights you are getting through. Then when we come through the unbiased practices, here we said that the unbiased practice, this may be the new topic for the maximum number of the labor law compliance professional in HR, but here we are going to be deep within the unbiased practice. If you consider that your compliances are fully complied with as per your understanding, but still there may be some unbiasing, so that we are going to understand. Then the role of human resources, when it is come to as part of the human resources, it is most important, it is most importantly, which is really important for HR to be sustainable. So that is what is your role, how the know-how or deep understanding of the labor laws, it is going to help you to be the more sustainable HR professional. Then your learning and awareness is the most important part, how you can improve it. And there are now the technology, we are into the era of technology where the thousand number of the human resource tech, the emerging tax services are coming into, how that can leverage your the labor law compliances and safeguard you different types of the damages to your organization. Then further we are going to be going with the non-compliances, what consequences may be happen for your organization, and global compliances, because as the Ivan John is also helping the global organization, so as part of the global organization compliances part, how it can help you to expand your flexibility instead of the Indian labor law to the further two. Then further the future of labor laws, here it is the 2024 the new election, the general election is going to be happen, and there are also by after these elections the four new codes possibly are going to be implemented. So what are the future of there? So it is going to, my question is to someone who is writing on the screen, kindly don't do it. If you know you are not liking it, you don't like, you can go out. Don't write on the screen this time. So when it is come to the next part, so that is about where and how it is helping you to the in multiple as part of the people manager and the people manager academy, how this roadmap we are creating further to empowering the 100 million HR professional globally by 2024. 2024 we are into this current year, and it is the goal of the 2024. We especially have been designed one roadmap for the successful HR leader for the future, where we are helping our community through the events like it is happening today right now. And then we have the conferences where we are connecting with the global thought leaders, and that global insight we are providing. Then we have the courses into the people manager academy aligned especially to the need of organization. Then we have the people manager magazine, which is providing you the multi-level of the know-how, daily updates related to the labor law, what is happening into the domain of HR. Then we have the mentorship programs for the community especially, and then we have been also launched the people manager HR awards too. There is a journey where we are empowering as the objective. So it is our role to first give to these societies, create that great learning community for the future as in the sustainable human resource career. So how we are, when we consider as at the beginning I have been shared with our theme for 2024, that is the art of possible, and design it for or make it for the unconventional time especially. So that is the one part where how we make it and why we say it is the art of possible. We held an one conference on 31st March 2024, which was focusing on the HR tech, leveraging the talent into the industries, where we have been focusing around the maximum number of the businesses. They have been expressed the issue related to the talent crunch into the organization. Then there are the mandates for the human resources, the CHROs in 2024, how you can help the organization, their business to the next level. So this was a great success. And then after these conferences we are going to conduct on quarterly basis. So next conference, that is on the last Sunday of June 2024. Before that there are some the master classes we are going to hold on, which will be 2 and 3 hours of master classes virtually. And There, in the previously the conference we have been done, here are the team of this making the success of this conference, where we have the keynote speaker, then CHR panel, we have done CXO panel has been done. And my name is Vira Singhvi, and I am the promoter as well as the editor-in-chief for the People Manager HR magazine and promoter for the People Manager Academy. Further, for the new conference we are going to conduct on the workplace well-being of employee, how you can ensure. There we are also lining up around 50 number of the top CHRO from India, and there are also pipeline some global CHR we are also connecting with, so that our objective is reaching to the or empowering the 100 million HR professional that we have to achieve. So when we consider it to be how we are making it the possible through designing for the unconventional, where we are focusing on the HR can have their role into the business growth, helping through the people, because you are the custodian or the human capital, human resources into your organization. There it is the technology, and in this era of technology, what is the future of the tech and how it is leveraging and expanding the possibility of human resources into the organization. There are the different techs are coming, how they can create the impact to your industries and helping your function to then further helping the or achieving the objective of the human resources. Then there are the multiple changes are going to happen, and how you may be ready, we are making you ready for the velocity shift into the year on year basis, which is going to be happen. So for that, when it has come to the empowering the 100 million people by 2040, so there it is our role into how we can empower. So there the learning we are providing on the weekly basis. Then we have been the mentorship program we are also providing that launching soon. Then after we have the daily magazine where you can visit to our magazine. Then we have the weekly magazine. Then we have the monthly magazine too. In part of that, in 2024 we have been also launched the awards for HR professional, where we are empowering the 100 or awarding the 100 influential HR leader in 2024 for the human resource, the People Manager HR human resource network. So that's why we are looking for expanding this network for the 100 million people by 2024. Then, as I mentioned that we are going to launch a program mid-May, that is the mentorship program for the HR professional as well as the community of people manager who are already the part of community, so that are getting it soon into the next, where we are especially focusing on one of the new launch, the technique, which is especially focusing on the micro level, how your HR the initiative can help into your organization as perspective of the businesses and then your employee, because HR is the bridge in between and the middle line, how you can helping into the both sides. So we are covering revealing the multiple techniques which is going to help you to really becoming the future leader, HR leader. When it is come to, there are the multiple things which we can go further with, where we have been especially to empowering with the people manager networking membership, which is aligned with the 5-year membership, 1-year and lifetime memberships also. So this is all about us and a little bit of the journey about People Manager HR magazine, how we are going to leverage the HR professional by 2024. So now it is the 21-23. Now I'm here welcoming Mr. Ivan for the understanding the issue of the organization they are facing when they have to comply. So that's why when we have been given the name to this today's session about the that is unbiased labor law practices, how you can handle it into your organization, and secondly, what would be possibly to align with. And furthermore, you will also get connectivity to with Yvonne John, where you can directly connect. We will share the detail of the organization and detail of LinkedIn profile of Yvonne, where you can directly connect to it. So now welcome you, Mr. Yvonne, here into this today's conversation. We have certain community questions, and that question by the organization who already working as the HR level. So they want to understand more, as they have been shared with the area, the 10 area we have been defined, what would be the expectation of the especially the community, what they want to learn, because the labor law is not in the one-time job. There has the multiple perspective, and that perspective is going to change with the situation to situation. It is as part of the interpretation how we do. So advocacy is the most important role of the HR professional as part of complying with the regulation. When it is come to first to understanding the labor laws, So as the beginning I have been shared, when we come it was at the labor law, so that is some part of the documentation. You have to assure some direction are already there. You have to prepare the documentation. You have to keep it and retain it for the multiple time of the records you required. And then the periodical basis you have to submit some returns and documentation. That is considered as a compliance. But as part of the expert, so my question is here to you that can you provide some overview, especially when it is come to perspective of the organization where the labor law compliances are taken care by the HR professional only. So what is exactly when we consider about the labor law and compliances, what the organization have to look forward?
Yeah.
Yes,
So
please.
good evening. Happy Labor's Day to all. Thank you, Singh ji, for the very fulfilling and enlightening introduction. It's been good associated with you.
Thank you so
I'll
much.
come to the point. You're welcome. So I welcome all the joiners from YouTube and LinkedIn and across the network in wonderful India. I'm Ivan Antony John. I'm the CEO of Hertz Global, and my partner also is there with me. Is Mr. Jay Suresh. To address that first question, see, in the HR human resource management, there are various competency criteria, right? So one thing that is non-negotiable and that is not compromisable, and there is zero tolerance is compliance. So the compliance are not just the rules and regulations and service conditions set by the government or the company establishment. It is like the common road that we all travel in. In the journey of the progress, some people tend to forget the road until a speed bump or like an accident or an incident or something happens, right? So that's how when that happens, then you have the traffic police coming in, then the vehicle mechanics coming in, then you have the general public rushing in. Then when there is some kind of like things which is not supposed to happen, then people who have not seen you, even though they're traveling along with you, they'll look at you differently. So you understand, like it is something like air you breathe in. Until it's not there, you do not know it's not there. Then you start panicking, and you did not enter into tragedy. So to answer that question, I think this is the criteria of understanding what's compliance all about. And why do, as of today morning, we have 274 companies. Out of that, which 164, we are doing monthly compliance filing and returns. In any organization, we have the finance and the HR and the admin, and primarily the HR and even the company will have subject matter expert or the compliance team. Why do they include us? It's not just they have to file the returns before the 15th, or like they'll have to like like go ahead with all the core labor codes and the multiple like thousands and thousands of compliances. It is because it is good to have a co-pilot. I'm driving right now on the highway. I'm over to pick up Suresh, and we're going to Bangalore today night. But we're taking a small break to attend this. So just imagine, like, even in this interview, if I had called my partner, this is what companies call us, to not just to assist or like to do the background work, but to do it in the expert manner. All right. So it's like a Tesla car. Although it is automatic, although automations are there, we discussed about AI, still you need the manual control. All right. So 76% of the time, the aircraft, it is on the auto mode. But at the time of, takeoff and landing, and when there's a turbulence, you need the pilot handling the manually, right? So if such can be with the physical material things, just imagine the plethora of compliances we have in our country, right? The first and foremost is the code of social security, so which is already implemented right now. What are the code of social security? Three things: EPF, Employee Provident Fund, and ESIC, Employee State Insurance Corporation, and POSH. So this is all your social security as such, like, right? And what is the aspects of code of wages, the second code, the minimum wages has been implemented very stringently uh, 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 in across all the states, the 28 states and the union territories we have. The minimum wages, each minimum wages according to the job, the designation, the classification, the various criteria, according to each district, each zone, the minimum wages, there's like for according to your profession, which industry you work in, which sector, under that classification, there's a very defined minimum wages, and there's a book being printed, and there's like like it's available all throughout as such. Like, so you can zero it down to your sector and your profession and your grade in that rank, and analyze what is your minimum profession as such, like, right? So this covers from up to CEO to even the domestic servant as such, like. So before the elections, what happened was the four labor codes from they were passed in our Lok Sabha. Then afterward, immediately the farm laws were passed out, and there was like the huge uh, uh, pandemonium and confusion, in Delhi. So the government had to take their leg off the accelerator for farm laws. So the full implementation of the four labor codes have not fully come into effect. But it's not that it's something new. It's just like the code of the other two codes are code of working conditions and code of industrial relations. Already we have the industrial disputes, the factories act all coming in the industrial relations. So many of the HRs, like in the factories and those who are handling industrial relations, IR, they'll be well aware of all the regulations, the working time, the festivals, the kind of filing returns they have to do, and the kind of licensing they have to do with the government officials, the labor officials, inspector of factories, fire, pollution control board. They have to obtain the consent of organized establishment and operations. So those things are known. But because of the farm laws coming into effect, it has been taken a bit diplomatic step by the government. But code of wages and code of social security are into full effect. After the elections, after the result of the elections, the bureaucrats remain the same. The next upcoming, whether it being a single party or coalition government, they will come to implement. If the same government continues, the four labor codes will be stringently implemented, and it will be enforced. All right. So there is a balance between enforcement and the Ministry of HRD, the Prime Minister office always they are listening to the employers because they are the investors, right? On the cause of ease of employment. So the employers, those who are investing the money, those who are paying a salary, and like if you take for example, the kind of why do most MNCs come to India? Why do investors come to India? Because of affordable, and I would never say cheap, but affordable and skilled workforce. India is still known for very skilled and kind of thing, like, right? So there's another humor. They say, like, instead of AI, they say all Indians. So how do you put it? Like, right now, Tesla, Elon Musk was supposed to meet our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, but suddenly, all of a sudden, he went to China. Even though the BYD and Tencent, they have invested in electric cars, he's bringing a self-automation drive there. And they want that their servers to hold back into that. So you see, he's going to the place where there is the infrastructure and there is the political willpower and the people acceptance, right? So why I'm saying this, because the ease of employment is a factor which we make. It is our responsibility as consultants. We make the government officials, the authorities, understand. Of course, we have a plethora of laws and plethora of compliance to follow. But if there is no employment tomorrow, if the employer plans to back out, and there are no salaries or jobs, or like there is no work to do, then how will the law be implemented, right? If we have a purpose of journey, we can attain the destination. But if we do not have the car itself in the first place, then how would we travel? So it all starts as a simple logic at the top. So I think I would have answered that question.
Yeah.
How we come into the place, yes. And
Yes,
the rest of the
definitely.
other 60 plus clients, we do one time when they get a labor notice or show cause notice. Mostly it has to do with the EPF, ESI, of course, they come into inspection. So when the COVID happened, there are a lot of relaxations given by the government, and the prime minister schemes was given. So after that being done, the officials do come and check up whether the benefits have fully reached the people. And of course, if the government does not, state government, ES and EPF is the central government. So they have, and something like PT, Professional Tax and Labor Welfare Fund, it will come under state government. And the municipal, the city corporation, it will come under the, each jurisdiction. So, but the company, it's a trilateral focus. It will come, triune focus, it will come. And if they don't inspect, if they don't ask, then there will be no adherence by the employer itself. So we do have to file the returns before 15th, but the government is watching, and because they can issue fines, and it can lead you even to arrest in the labor tribunal and the courts. That is why there is a set of precaution by the employers to comply. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much for that. To very exemplify, you have been exemplify the overview of especially the compliances. What is it? So the examples you have been given that are the already great to understand about the compliance as part. So when it is come to number one, it is as the HR you know where the issue come also for the HR, that is as part of the employer side. So employer want to just do it by yourself, how it do, but I don't know that in that point it come about some unfair practices come into the existence. So in that case, when it is considered further to, because for the every industry it is crucial for that need to be complied with. When it is part to, what is the employer, what is your advice to the employer, and how HR can help where the you have to avoid the unfair practices like the under table there are still in many
Yeah.
states is happening. So what is your advices to the HR professional, how they have to deal with, they have to be make consent
Yeah.
with the employer, it is required, but go with the
So
deep
I'll start
understanding.
with the working hours in India. So according to the Factories Act 1948, which was implemented after the independence, every adult, that is a person who has completed 18 years of age, cannot work more than 48 hours a week. That is uh, but even the same act, it says, and not more than 9 hours a day. All right. And in the same act, there are things which employees used to justify. There is a category of adolescents, that is the age between 16 to 18 as well. All right. And according to section 51 of the Factories Act, the spread over, okay, should not exceed more than 10 and a half hours. All right. Uh, so if you look at that, some people ask, is 12 hours working legal in India? All right. So actually, the working hours in a week are 48 hours. 48 hours. All right. So in a day, so if they work there was only discussion, like how it is in France and certain European Union countries. Can instead of being a 5-day working week, can we make it a 4-day working week? All right. So there's just a discussion. There is just especially in the IT sector and the fintech and shared services, not in the defense or manufacturing or logistics. All right. So that means, the companies, factories can work a full week. Only the overtime has been increased from 50 hours to 125 hours per quarter. Now, there is, people know this numerals, but the variables are misunderstood. All right. It is like 125 hours per quarter. All right. And if it's and it has not been enacted, or, the government order has not yet come. It is still 48 hours a week, and not more than 9 hours a day. All right. So if the 125 hours it comes, how do you allot it? Before the working hours, after the working hours, and of course the overtime it has to be paid extra. All right. So, I mean, there is the understanding of the lunch hours and tea breaks as well. But are the overtime actually being paid as per the labor laws? How it is being represented? If there is a union in the company or the factory, of course, they are very careful about it, and there's a balance. And this is where the HR comes into as a bridge. All right. But where all the labor codes are applicable, if it's like 200 plus employees and they're working in shifts, then you understand the number of permutation combination this comes. Only the biometric will know, or if it's a manual, you'll understand is the overtime being calculated accordingly. And if the overtime is done, and if it is if it comes under the monthly pay, and the variable pay is increased, and if it's being put under income tax scrutiny, then again it's wrong. So
Yes.
you can understand if there's an incentive, incentive is not based on overtime. It is based on what are the key result areas fulfilled within that working specific time. All right.
Definitely.
And there is a employee side also, my timing is till 6:30, but today I work till 8:30, so I can come late tomorrow. These are the things, like how between it is mutually understood, and it's like taken in a conscious way, no problem. But when the law is being enforced stringently, then everybody has their own interpretation. In all this, the scorecard will come whether the pay is going to come or the pay will not be justified. Only these two. All right.
Definitely.
So
Yeah.
according there's a yeah. So some people ask, if the 8 hours of work include a lunch time in India, it depends from company to company. All right. So companies call it 9 hour shift with an hour or so for lunch and tea breaks. All right. Some companies have 8 hour shift included lunch hour also, but such companies are very less. All right. So if it's 8 hours including lunch shift, these are very very few. In my experience, I've seen hardly I can count it with my fingers. But usually it's a 9 hours with the understood of 1 hour lunch break and tea break. So this is how the definition comes through, and this is where Hertz Global Compliance, as a labor law consultant, we come and interpret it and clarify things.
Of course. So when it is
Yeah.
come to it is crucial for when it is there are the discommunication, miscommunication. We said it when the
Mm.
definition which has been defined under the law as you have been described here. So there the miscommunication come here when the overtime has been expanded. So that is for one part is
No,
okay,
first of all,
but
the communication itself is not direct, because at the time of joining, you give your previous company details and your Aadhaar, your PAN. You give your data. But has anyone gone to the company's notice board and read? You know, what are the four national holidays? Today is a national holiday. All right. So there are festival holidays, and what are the safety regulations that you have to adhere to? And if it's a factory, they will clearly put the name of the inspector of factories.
yeah.
All right. And until compliance is always like this. If there's a fire, only people they use the staircase. They know where the fire extinguisher is. But a regular learning and development session where a proxy fire alarm is set and people are gone through a drill, then they understand. So compliance training must be inducted in the induction itself, and it is all about this do's and don'ts.
No, my point
Do's
was
and
here.
don'ts.
Yes, yes, please. Do
Yeah.
and don't are
Hmm.
required because then the learning you have to give from the beginning to everyone because it is not. However, the learning you have been provided from the beginning, but when the employee is coming into the day-to-day basis, their awareness similarly required. But how possibly the HR can it be done by the physically one? But no. So there must be have some example. That is the one part. What I was considering here, as you said about the overtime, where it has the 125 the hours of overtime has been expanded for quarterly, but that is not as of now fully notified. So in that case, what is happening when
Yes.
as part of the question I asked this, so that is about the now employer side why it is must. It is must that because when you are expended the overtime, so that is also the extended the cost. Either the employer, they are paying to the employee for that extended hour, then after your operative cost, your the electricity power cost, that must also be calculated. So in that part, now the it is HR side, what is the rule, how you can manage it unbiasedly into organize here when it is considered overtime expansion. We are we are have the pricing practices for the employer, because the payout at the end, that is going to increase. So that is the my submission here. Now
Yes.
come to the next point here. So that is about when we have been consider about the understanding of the laws, the compliances, and what is it's important. Now it come to as your part, you are dealing with the multiple organization as in the expert for it. So what are the common challenges the organization face, and how they have to prepare for these or such challenges?
Okay. Since a lot of professionals are watching and many HRs are coming into play, so I'll come directly to the point. In the code of wages, in the new codes, like from 13th April 2023, all right? So exactly 1 year ago, how many of are aware and implementing that the basic salary, all right, when you like frame the pay component and the salary structure, or your existing employees, the basic salary must be at least 50% of the total gross salary. All right. So the employee CTC is made up of four parts, mainly like the house rent allowance, the basic salary, and the retirement perks. There is like this part of social security like PF and national pension scheme, and usually a few tax-friendly allowances. All right. Only those getting 21,000 below are following the ESI bracket. But still, when we look at the pay slips, when we look at a certain establishment, not all, still the basic, it has not been adhered to. Now, when this is not been adhered to, it will come within the notification of the Labor Department, and it will come under the EPFO, Employee Provident Fund Organization. So there are like two slabs that are functional in the EPF. It's like a slab function or like a 12% of your basic. So if the basic is 50% the gross salary, then you understand if they count it on the basic of the 50%, the PF of the employer contribution and the employee contribution, it alters, it increases definitely. So there are two things here. Like, so the payout from the employer is definitely going to be more in the PF if they don't follow slab, and the take home is going to be considered less. So some people, when they get an offer, they say 20 lakh per annum or like 35 lakh per annum. But actually, when you go look at that, there's different things like gross, net, and there's the CTC, and of course the take home. So when they see the take home, the employees get a bit disappointed. All right, but they should not get disheartened, because ESI is for their medical treatment. I mean, if they come under that, and EPF is also just like a bank account. So right now there's a new amendment that, like before we used to use Form 13 to transfer when they shift from one company to another company. Right now the EPF is giving 8.5 interest, right? So even if you put the best fixed deposit, and even if you're not a senior citizen, I don't think nobody gives 8.5% on thing, and you can withdraw that amount for your medical expenses or a wedding, or like a forecast, like building the house or something like. So something basic as that. All right. So that has to be. I mean, first of all, we should be open to that. The acts are there; they're not rigid. Amendments will happen, and improvisation on the amendments will happen, and corrections may happen. And government, once they pass it, doesn't mean it's final. They can retract it. All right. But at the same time, the officials and my audience I'm watching, always don't go by hearsay or don't go by press articles. Always ask for the government government order. Look at the circular. Then, confidently, you get an acknowledgement from a consultant like us, how to proceed. Then we proceed, right? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So when it has come as part of the compliances, where is the most important? There are the many discussion happen around what is going to happen since 2020 and after COVID. There are the many discussion point happen where the 4 days work week is going to be happen. So still there are no official notification has been come out, as part similarly into the four labor codes. However, that has been introduced, and official notification and the enforcement is not there so far when it is going to be part of the compliances. So the first part is for the where the it is critical and the challenges we face. So that is about what is the communication is. Now it is the social media, the social media thing, and everything is coming to you. But as part of when you have to really go to the unbiased practices of the compliances management, you must have to take care that the notification of the particular the changes implement has been done is come to you. Based on that, you have to get the advices from the expert too. So that is the most
Yeah.
crucial for the HR professional and the organization to comply with where the challenges face the organization are facing. Then it's come to now when we understand about the challenges where can in part of that, as I have also highlighted that Ivan has also already highlighted the unbiased practices. When it is come to the organization part, and how can organization ensure now at this point the labor law compliances practices are unbiased and fair? So what
Yeah. So
organization have to do?
yes. So I'll tell you the conditions of service. All right. So ensure the major laws applicable, like the Factories Act 1948, Contract Labor, that is like Regulations and Abolitions Act 1970, Industrial Employment Standing Order Act 1946. And then before you do the factory license or something, you get to have the Building and Other Construction Workers, which is a Regulation of Employment and Condition Service Act 1996, and the Payment of Wages Act 1936, and the Payment of the Minimum Wages Act of 1948, and the Payment of Bonus Act 1965, and the Equal Remuneration Act 1976. So these are the conditions of service. These are all well explained and understood by the HR first. Then he has to ensure that the management is aware of that. Then the employees they should be given they will be knowing already that when, for example, today if it's like May Day, we all know it's a holiday, right? The election time is coming, we know it's a holiday, but still you have to send that mail and make them aware, right? I'll give you a small example. In the payment of bonus, we all know what is the bonus percentage, but how many people know that there is a calculation for surplus bonus? Most of the companies do make profit, and they've been they follow the procedure. After success, never discuss. So it is the role of the HR to accommodate the extra surplus that the profit has made, and according to each employees, they'll have to distribute that already. And if it comes to industrial, very important is the Industrial Disputes Act 1947 and the Trade Union Act of 1926 have to be adhered to. And state-wise, all IT companies, shops, and establishments have to follow the Shop and Establishments Act. So already I told you about the social security benefits come in Social Security. We know the Employee State Insurance Act 1948 and the Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provisions Act 1952. And of course, there are two more. That is the Payments of Gratuity Act 1972 and Workmen's Compensation Act 1923. All right. So there are states which have taken a lead. For example, Karnataka, they have ensured that insurance should be present for the gratuity as well as such. So the Madras High Court, as the law, the act says 5 years you have to work in a company to be eligible for gratuity. But according to the Madras Court judgment and couple of case judgments, 4 years and 280 days is sufficient to claim for gratuity. All right. So these are the things to start with. And what I said right now. So if it's like you've taken notes, you'll understand that. So there are three things I told you: social security, wages, and industrial relations. And there are the benefits for the women. Women, in the sense, the Equal Remuneration Act 1976, and of course the Maternity Benefit Act 1961, and of course the POSH Act that's been passed on in 2013, the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace. So that also comes in the plethora. Yes.
Yes, so thank you so much.
So
That unbiasing practices where we and the HR can assure into organization that it means what the law has been said, like the gratuity example has been given, that said the 5 year. But when you have to pay out, so what you have to consider, what required the criteria. So there are the many judgments are also there, which has been on the time to time, which has given by the different courts. So that need to be taken care. Otherwise, that will also be an issue or non-compliance for the organization if it is not paid properly. Now come to the next. So that is about the in that when we consider about the labor law that is most important for organization, where it is that the even the organization or HR facing the challenges between employer and the authorities, then it come to the what is the
sorry to interpret.
way. Yes, please.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry to interpret. Since we talked about the Maternity Benefit Act, the act has been passed in 1961. All right, but there are many amendments and many like supplements that have been added and just still into force, which many are not aware. So in the wide section of 5 of the Maternity Benefit Act 61, the government has increased paid maternity from 12 weeks to 26 weeks. So if someone carries the old act and says it's 12 weeks, but actually the government amendments they don't have, then they cannot say, I'm not aware of it. Like, it's your responsibility as HR. And, like, if you don't know, I mean, like, you don't know, but then you have to have the, like, that's why we consultants that are there, so that we show the amendments, and that, of course, it has gone to 26 weeks. And also a clause which is not more than 8 weeks shall proceed the date of the expected delivery. All right. So, and what are the rules of the maternity leave? There are the rules also apart from the act enforcement. A minimum of 80 days of employment. All right. In the 12 months before delivery or adoption. All right. And 26 weeks leave for the first 2 deliveries. Okay. So, like, someone comes for the 3rd delivery, I mean, like, it's up to you. Then that's why the council comes and gives the advice. And 12 weeks for subsequent deliveries up to 8 weeks before the expected delivery date. This amendment has been passed on 3rd October 2023. So, and there's also the section 18 of Maternity Benefit Act. That is the forfeiture of the benefit. So if a woman works in any establishment after she has been permitted by employer to absent herself under the provision of section 6, then any period which is authorized absence, she can forfeit her claim to the maternity benefit also.
Yeah, definitely. However, there are also the one recent judgment has been ruled by the Supreme Court, where it has been said that the second maternity can be taken into within the 2 years of period. So this is a submission for this question. So next it come about as the role, especially so awareness creation. That is the role of the HR preparation, guiding the management. That is also the role of the human resources department. So first
Yep.
you must be known to that what is going to be happen. So similarly, you can utilize our platform where the day-to-day labor law related changes we are taking care. But now it come to the next. That is about the technology in compliances. So how the technology are going to help the HR professional or organization to managing their compliance? So what is your opinion on this?
Well, there are a plethora of payroll software where technology is paid. In my experience of from 23 years right now. So I started working from the age of adolescent, 16 years. At that time, we used Fox Pro. All right. So then their Saral Pay came. Wings had its own, the software. Either the finance or the HR. The HR will overlook the finance, and the admin will do the total number of working days and what's their package, and they will count on based on that. And then, right now we use Great of HR. We go to attendance many services like HR Darwin, the HR Thread, Payperk, Kika. So there are numerous as such like. But in compliance, there are very, very few softwares. All right. So each consultant, they have their own software, but the software and the technology has its limitations. All right. So the technology cannot interpret. It can only implement what the data you feed in, it will do. So
Right.
yes, so it is not like factory automation. The door has to be fixed, the bonnet has to be mandated. No, it doesn't work like that. So each month the salary is different. Each month the payslip calculation is altered. The number of variable things are definitely very, very constant. The only constant is variable. So when it comes to compliance, just imagine the number of amendments that have come to, the number of government orders that are coming into. It has to be done customized month on month.
Okay. So it
So
means that yes, yes,
there is like the standard filing returns can be done, but ESI and EPF compliance does not end with ESI and EPF alone as such. Like, so there are the working conditions. There is like huge plethora interpretation of laws. So hello.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
you are audible. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
It is an evolving thing, and uh, we are associated with Complinity. There is a software, of course. So if you're using a software, you can contact us, and you can with our channel partners, Complinity. That's a very good software, and most of it is covered. But to be 100% compliant, it has to be customized. All right. Still now, all software and technology that is on payroll and compliance is based on Excel only.
definitely. So far when it's come to the technology into the compliances, so that as part of the payroll where the transaction you have to run, that can be done. So some part, however, there the government has been approved the uses of technology into the compliances part, but it is up to the HR professional if you are engaging the technology, but you require some predetermined data. Then you have to be modify that according to customize that according to your need. When it is come to the technology, we have been discussed. So next coming to when we have been talk about the unbiased compliances practices, what are the non-compliances consequences for the organization when it's come to the question?
Hmm.
So
So
yes,
it is no one's intention to be non-compliant, but we are one India. We are, but when employees work come from other states and work, right? So you have to implement interstate migratory workers. So most of the companies, it's not that they don't want to be compliant. Maybe they're not aware, or they overlook, or they're ignorant about it. So that's where we come and make them implement that. And there is still the employment exchange. Most of them have their own recruitment channel partner. They have their own hiring team. The HR also does that main function, but they have to know that. And there is no much awareness of the National Apprentice Act, which has to be also which is also a must. It is not an optional thing. All right. So whether an employer or the management team, or those who are decision makers, there is no stance on partiality, impartiality. So if it is a law, we'll have to adhere to it, and it is the role of the HR is not to facilitate. We have to implement.
yes,
And
definitely.
although we understand the employers, we understand investors, their focus is ultimately on running a business, keeping themselves productively occupied, and profit. Balance scorecard is profit.
Yes,
When you ride the car, your ultimate thing is you want to enjoy the journey, and you want to reach the place as well. But in between, you don't want to meet an accident. And in case you meet up with an accident, or you run out of fuel, or you are ignorant or something, that's where we consultants come in to save you. The indicators, the guidelines, the signals are like the state government and central government and the corporation guiding you. You know, so sometimes the labor inspectors, the inspector of factories, the various departments that function, like when you go on a highway, they show like go slow, accident prone zone, right? So they do make you aware of it. Like, So before you actually go for an accident, you are going to need that they kind of prevent you. Prevention is better than cure. And still, if you're like if you're going to like bang another vehicle or the wall or some median, then before that happens, they're going to impose fine and penalty, so that you halt and you cool down, and you are like aware of it. Then you're brought into like a sense of compliance that you have to do all this, then you can proceed, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so everything happens, all that happens for the best. Yeah.
Yes, of course. So when it is come to as part of the, it is now 10 10 5. So labor law compliances management, how to ensure the unbiased compliance? It is about similarly, when you have to, it is the profit of both the employer and HR side also. We both side have to take care and go freely. When it is come to part as the going freely with safely, so we have to ensure some regulations. So that regulations are the compliances which have to be catered down, which have to deep dive. Then you can ensure safeguard your organization too. Now it is the some question we are picking one and two question from the participants. So here is one question which has been asked by the Rajini S, that is regarding related to maternity. It is about the calculation of
Yes.
maternity when it is considered at 26 weeks. So how much it is converted into the days? It is 180 or 182. However, it must be the 182. So what is your
So
advice?
Rajini, like since we're running out of time, the Maternity Benefit Act was passed in 1961. All right, that PDF I'll email you, and there is an amendment that's made in 2020, and there is the latest amendment that is made into 2022. All right, and there's an earlier thing that we just passed in 2017. All right, so the latest one I will email you. Just drop in an email. You can clearly see it out there, like.
Okay, so second question is
Next question,
Suraj.
yeah.
Yes, Suraj Thomas. He is asking about the ceiling of the EPFO. That is the 15,000 as of now by the direction of the Supreme Court. So it is about
Mm.
confirming that we could have two PF calculation in an organization majority capped at the 50,000 capping, or the Supreme Court verdict. So it is about the where there are the two. One is your minimum wages or whose wages are below than 15,000. So you have to calculate it based on above two. You can keep it, or otherwise if you are going for the full basic. So it will be depend. So what is your opinion into this?
Okay. See, the wage ceiling for the coverage under the EPF scheme, 1952, is revised from time to time. Okay. Presently, that is, you have to note down and take a pen and paper because it's all coming from my mind. From the 1st of uh, 2014. One second, I'm getting another. Jay, I'll call you back, Jay.
Okay.
Someone calls me in my.
Hmm.
So from the first of September 2014, the rupees 15,000 per month has been implemented. All right. So see, the total contribution, that is like voluntary and mandatory, can be up to 15,000 per month. The member can also contribute on higher wages, that is greater than 15,000, but only to a maximum limit of 100% of PF wages, provided they get permission from the APFC or the RPFC. All right. So as per the provisions of the para 26(6) of the scheme. Okay.
So
And
it
what
means
happens if the PF is more than 15,000? Yeah. So
yes,
let me
that is
finish
the
it.
question.
So what happens if the PF is more than 15,000? So the EPF contribution is mandatory for employees with salary plus basic up to 15,000 per month. All right. For employees earning above this, the threshold, it is optional, subject to the approval of the Assistant Commissioner of PF.
Okay, so
Then
it
if you
means
ask
it.
me what is the PF ceiling, yeah. So yeah, if you understand that it is optional. So for case by case, you have to come to me. You go accordingly. All right. Even to get the approval of the Assistant PF Commissioner, I'll be there for you. Okay. So what is the ceiling? Look at this ceiling. What is the ceiling difference between 6,500 to 15,000? All right. So the change from 6,500 to 15,000 in paragraph 2F of the EPF scheme means the employer is now obliged to make the contributions for a larger workforce. All right. Earlier, the employees had to pay discretion only those who earned 6,000 up to only 6,500. Okay, and they are members of the EPF. Okay, and what is the okay? If you look at what is the EPF contributed more than 2.5 lakhs. All right, the amendments of the budget, okay, of 2021, which is like 3 years ago, the interest of an employee's contribution to the EPF account about 2.5 lakhs, okay, 2.5 lakhs in a financial year is taxable. The interest is also subject to TDS, tax deducted source. All right.
Yes.
So can someone claim PF above 50,000? If someone is withdrawing after 50,000, they're eligible for exemption from TDS on EPF withdrawal if you file a Form 15G or Form 15H. But if you withdraw after 5 years, you do not have to pay any TDS on EPF withdrawal. All right.
Okay.
So there's another question. Can I withdraw 100% of my PF amount? EPF can be withdrawn under the circumstance when the employee retires, or if an employee is unemployed for more than a month, he can withdraw 75%, not 100%. All right. So many people come and ask, like, can I withdraw all my EPF? No, it is not possible. If you have been unemployed, you're looking for another job, or you have been retrenched, or something has happened for more than a month, you don't need to give the reason, but you can withdraw up to 75% of the fund. And if the employee is like, if the person has not been unemployed for more than 2 months, then they can withdraw 100%.
Okay, thank you so much.
Many people are learning new things right now. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, of course. So
And
there is no
and
more
12%
question.
rule. Yeah, the 12%. I'll answer all the questions because I'm facing this every day. Today was like a holiday, but I got like 70 calls from the morning till now. So the EPF regulations, employer must contribute 12% of the monthly basic salary. Okay, not gross or net or CTC, basic salary. All right, which the employer should also match this contribution. So from 1st of April 2014, all right, we are beginning of May, just like 1 month ago, like from the start of the new financial year, alone regulations to the government savings plan also is implemented, the new EPF rules.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
And
much. Is there any other
there are a lot
question?
of doubts there. Yeah, there are a lot of I will do the FAQs. So even
Definitely.
there are a lot of confusions, clarity, misunderstanding, or there is no awareness because on the taxable of the EPF. All right. So the contribution made by employee in the account of the financial year starting, say, for example, say 21-22, okay, is non-taxable. That is below 25 lakhs or 5 lakhs threshold, as the case may be.
Okay, so the Q&A we will schedule another session because it is now the 20 to 12.
Right.
So thank you so much for giving your
Yes.
time, and definitely next time we would have one question and answer session where we will ask the community a lot of questions where we will quickly keeping the question. So thank you so much, Yvonne, the CEO of
Ivan, it's
Hats
Ivan.
Global. Ivan.
It's Ivan. With Ivan, you win. All right.
Okay,
So
you win. Okay,
you
Ivan and
can
you win. Yeah, together.
with
So thank you
Ivan,
so
you
much
win. All
for
right.
joining. Yeah, definitely
You're
for giving
welcome.
your time
It's my
today. However, Ivan is Ivan is driving, and I'm
Ivan.
very yes.
Yeah.
Ivan is driving, and this is especially the great thank you to you to giving your time today. And however, next
Yeah.
we will also have another session with you. So accordingly, we will connect with
Anytime.
you. And however, so far the community
Anytime.
who has been joined, so we will share your detail with you. They can directly connect if they are facing any problem
Sure.
related to the compliances, the services by the Avon and especially the Hats Global throughout India. Anywhere
So
you
I have
can
already put
find.
my coordinates in the chat box, but I will say it once again. It's Ivan, IVAN at hgcompliance.com, and my number is 9840667011. You can reach out to
Yes.
SBR Learning and People Matters, and you can reach out to our wonderful Singhji. And not only for the compliance awareness and regulations, also for your license registration and renewals, your payroll, your talent acquisition, contract staffing, and all aspects of the Indian government, the licensing, the lobbying, and whatever sector you're into, We are there to not just guide you, but hold your hand and ensure that you are safe, you are 100% compliant, and you can look forward to a business of profit.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving this helping suggestion to all the community who has been joined today. They will definitely connect with you, and the detail we will also share with all the participants who has been specially registered for this today's session. So for the next, we are coming with the one more session with Yvonne, and that is maybe the question and answer session. So all the participants, we will also request all of you to join this great session. So thank you so much everyone for joining this session, and good night.
So can we take a group photo?
Yeah,
Can all of
definitely.
them switch on the
Yes,
cameras?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we'll take a group photo.
Please
At
everyone
least
switch
those
on
who are
your camera
participating.
so that who has been live participate now and who are available here. So kindly just open your video here and so that we can have the group for picture.
Hi, Advocate Sham Rawat, Ranjan.